aggressive. She gets a knock early on here.
That'll bring up Ella Parker as Patty Gasso has moved her lineup around considerably tonight. Parker moving up into the 2 spot in the order. The freshman will step in. 0 for 2 with a walk in game 1 last night. She comes into the weekend one of the best freshman hitters in the country. As you check out the lineup for the Sooners to face Gutierrez tonight. 0-1 misses away. Strong throughout. We talked about the Coleman home run. The bottom of the order was terrific last night, led by Riley Boone, who was 2 for 3 and scored a couple times. Boone putting up All-America numbers this year, and it continues into this Texas series. Off the end of the bat and right to second, Alyssa Washington has it 1 down. Sun was out for just a moment or two earlier this evening, but it's been overcast most of the day, and the darkest clouds yet looming around us, although rain is not in the immediate forecast.
You can tell there is a plan coming into this. Just the scouting report, the understanding, watching video. Early aggressive swinging at first pitches. We've now seen 2 of the first 3 batters for Oklahoma.
Lally Gutierrez, that's going to be the big pitch for her tonight. That is an off-speed curveball. She's going to throw that like 57 to 60 miles an hour. It's hard to identify, and she's going to have to use that early and often against this Oklahoma team.
Up 0-2 on Brito. Alyssa had a hit in game 1 last night. Down in the dirt. Sitlali in her last 16 and 2/3 innings. 2-0 with 2 complete games. That covers 3 starts for her. Only allowed 8 hits. Mac Morgan was undefeated going into game 1. She took the loss last night. Sitlali undefeated as well here coming into game 2. For a Texas team that is 29-6 and ranked 5th in the country. A lot of rise balls. Sprinkles in the change.
Yeah, she can move it through the zone, but it's that changeup that really is so effective.
Brito, a .423 hitter on the season. She's homered in 4 of her last 7 games. For one of the top home run hitting teams in the country. In fact, coming up with a streak of 26 games in a row with at least 1. Multiple home runs in 7 of their last 8. In the dirt, blocked by Atwood.
Good job by Atwood to keep that in front of her. Pitch showing up at about 40 feet.
Went from 0-2 to 3-2.
Brito bomb.
Oh, that's what he wants. Hot shot to third, handled by Scott. Second for 1, over to first place, and Brito legs it out. But they get the lead runner Coleman for the second out of the inning.
It's a great job by Washington. A lot of congestion over there at second base when Scott is going to obviously go after the leadoff. But Coleman got a great job. Look at the way that Coleman comes in hard to second. And a good turn by Washington. This is a close play at second. A lot of congestion there with Coleman coming up, calling safe.
Boy, that was almost close to an interference with her getting in the way of the throw.
I think she was stealing on the pitch. She was surprised coming up. She thought she was safe.
The defense today going to be so important for Texas. Errors have been an issue in all 6 of their losses. Swing and a miss to Cassidy Pickering. The freshman moves up into the 4 spot in the order in front of Tiare Jennings tonight. Bit of a surprise. The lineup, however, came out after we were already upstairs, so.
Freshman in the 2-hole and the 4-hole for Oklahoma. 10 seniors on this Oklahoma team that, if you're a freshman, you can bust into this lineup. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, then bust into it in the 2 and 4 hole. I mean,
right?
Cassidy was 0 for 2 last night. Here's the 2-1. A big weekend of college softball, women's sports in general continues. Florida the win earlier tonight over LSU. Georgia and Tennessee have split their series. All teams that'll be vying for spots at the World Series. That is laced out to left, off the wall. Brito motors around to third, and Pickering is in safe for the double.
holy smokes, this ball was hit hard. I mean, so impressed with these freshmen. We talked about the at-bats, but to get to this pitch, it was the takes before this. To find a pitch, she was clearly looking middle away. Not even 100% of her swing. She hits it off the wall so hard, they almost had a chance for her at second base. Been good to hit.
Torres on deck.
That off-speed curveball. It's going to be important for her to get that call on the outer half. That pitch looked close to the zone. Didn't get the call.
That's going to drop into the gap. And a base hit for Jennings, who does get something to hit, and she drives in Alyssa Brito for the 1-0 lead.
Jennings just so good at going inside out. That pitch on the inner half, and she's jammed up a little bit with the outfield deep. Looked like it was something that was going to be caught off the bat, but it just dumps in front of Henry Maloney out in the outfield.
Jennings, RBI number 48 on the season. Torres backhanded to third, the throw over to first for the third out. Oklahoma
really work on diversifying the amount of pitches that she throws.
First pitch to Bella Dayton.
She's going to be upper 60s. She's got a good rise ball, drop ball combination. She will mix speeds as well. A little bit more pitch to contact than what we saw last night with Kelly Maxwell, who is more of a spin pitcher with a lot of swing and miss. So it's good defense. #1 in the country for Oklahoma. Should get a little bit of a test tonight.
May comes in with a strike. 1-1 to Dayton, the senior out of Wiley, Texas. Started her career at Arizona. But now success with Texas. Check out the lineup for the Longhorns. Katie Stewart, look at that note at the bottom. She broke 2 windows across the street out beyond the left field fence in batting practice. One yesterday and another one today. We'll see if she can put that power to use as Dayton grounds out, 1 away.
I think the biggest thing for Texas is this one, and somebody you talked about, is just making contact. It's so defeating when there's a lot of swing and miss. You're walking back to the dugout. 10 strikeouts that Kelly Maxwell had, and you could just see how defeated they were until that last push in the 7th inning.
They did get a leadoff batter on base just once last night, and that wasn't until the 7th inning. So it's been a bit, or it was a bit last night of a struggle against Maxwell to get anything started quickly on Kelly, who may be back tomorrow for game 3. We'll see.
Yeah, the 7th inning was the only inning that Maxwell didn't have a strikeout.
Jolie Mitchell, the transfer from Notre Dame. One from May. For Mike White, just the 3 hits. They only had a couple of base runners until that 7th. 10 strikeouts And I couldn't get anything going with runners on base. The schedulers didn't do them any favors by putting Oklahoma State and Oklahoma back-to-back. So the last 4 games have been a struggle for them offensively against top 10 pitching nationally.
Texas team that started the season really hot offensively, and sometimes you go
early tonight. Swing and a miss. 2 down.
Nicole May already throwing a lot of changeups early in counts and then comes back up for the strikeout. You see the way that she's got to get underneath this pitch. So it's a rise, a little bit of late movement on that. It just gets Mitchell to swing through it.
Mia Scott will step in and hit third here for Texas, the junior out of Angleton. Had only struck out 4 times all season, but then Maxwell got her twice last night. She returns. Last year, she was Texas's best in hits, runs, and stolen bases. That's the other thing that they miss without base runners. They love to use the speed. They love to create some chaos to put pressure on defenses.
It's a big part of their game. Is that chaos. When they're not on base, it completely disappears, goes away.
Well, you sense, too, that the crowd could use a boost. There's anticipation of something to get them going. They really came alive last night in the 7th. Another capacity crowd here, standing room only tonight. It's the first top 5 matchup here in 20 years. And a base runner. For Mia Scott now, she's reached in 21 of the last 23 games. All right, let's see what they can do with it with one of their best hitters, Reese Atwood, coming up.
Be interesting to see how many changeups Atwood gets. At times, she can hit that pitch very well.
Aggressive swing on the opening pitch.
Yeah, and that's a rise ball, and that's uncharacteristic. Normally, Atwood will swing at that if it's inside. That's the pitch she likes to hunt up and in, and she can hit that for a home run. That pitch away up in the zone, and she chases it.
53 RBI is number 2 in the country. Really good first half of the season, and trying to find her way back to that through the last 18 games. She's got a shot at a new single season record if she heats up again. Oh-2 pitch. One-two from May. Atwood, ground ball to Brito at third, scoops that up. Side retired. See together on July 1st. 7, 8, and 9 coming up. This group did some damage in game 1 last night. Sanders reached a couple of times with walks. From Gutierrez is inside.
She's one of the most intimidating hitters in this lineup, and not obviously just the numbers, the way she'll stare down a pitcher. She'll do it before, she'll do it after. She has something about her that says, I dare you to throw it anywhere near the strike zone.
Way in the back of the box. She's a 3-outcome hitter. She either hits a home run or she walks or she gets out. Look at the more free bases than hits, and of the 21 hits, 11 of those are home runs.
She doesn't get cheated on her swing, that's for sure.
She had a really good March in the month, hit .375 with 9 of those 11 home runs. Really got hot late last year, took her a while to settle in after transferring from Arizona State. That's quite a change for her from February. Down the line, fair ball, terrific snag by Scott over to first to get her. One down. The backhand to make the play for Mir.
Well, for Gutierrez, this is exactly what she needs. Her defense to pick up some hard shots on the ground and make these plays. Gutierrez rolls a lot of ground balls. Love the way that Scott's going to go get that. She's going to stand back up and fire it across the infield. Gutierrez liking what she sees from her defense.
I'll bring up Kinsey Hansen. Returning from injury for her second start in a row. For the senior, one of 10 seniors on the roster this year for Oklahoma. All they know is winning national championships. The three-peat, looking for an unprecedented four-peat.
Not getting the lower half of the zone. And Gutierrez is the type of pitcher that she has a chase rate of almost 29% in the lower half of the zone. If she's not getting that pitch, there's no reason that Oklahoma is going to swing at anything below the belt.
Off the end of the bat at 60 miles an hour, 2-1.
And that's the pitch that typically she'll throw that at the knees. That is a really high spin rate, off-speed curveball, but it's a little elevated tonight, Jess, and you know how it is when off-speed pitches get elevated. They get bashed.
That's why Kinsey Hansen swung at it.
One hopper to short. Martinez, 2 down. Here's a look at Patty Gasso. The 7 NCAA titles with 16 trips to the Women's College World Series. That championship mindset, they call it in Norman. And it's been good for 8 trips to the championship series in 11 years and 6 titles in the last decade. A Norman conquest going on at OU. Of course, UCLA with the most NCAA crowns, 12. Arizona with 8, so one more for Coach Gasso would tie her with the great Mike Candrea. Nice 1-2-3 inning at the bottom for Gutierrez, playing easy peasy lemon squeezy out there.
The biggest, the biggest message that Mike White had with this team was just put the ball in play. Let's start there, because we've touched on it. They can create havoc on the base paths. Putting pressure, I know Oklahoma's defense is so good, but they make mistakes too.
Swing and a miss for Washington. It's 5-6-7 coming up. Melissa was 0 for 1 last night. She is the real calming influence for this team. Their captain. Reaches for that. Brito's got it. Michelle Smith is liking all the ground balls tonight.
Both these pitchers, though, they live in the lower half, they mix speeds, and of course they use their defense.
Left side of the field, both sides. Seen a lot of action between Brito and Scott, man.
That is now 8 of 9 innings in the series that Oklahoma pitchers have gotten the leadoff batter out to start an inning.
Yes. You know, the first rules of pitching, right? No leadoff walks, get that leadoff out, you know, work from ahead. First pitch strikes. And Patty's really challenged her pitching staff.
That's right. That's a base hit. Could be extras for Vivi. Headed for second. And the stand-up double for Martinez and a runner in scoring position for the Longhorns.
We're talking about the great defense of Vivi Martinez at shortstop. This is a beautiful job. Look at the location of this pitch. It's going away from her. In fact, this is off the plate, and we've seen this now a couple times. Just meeting the ball, a lot of velocity off the bat because she has such quick hands. Getting this down the line, an easy double for Vivi Martinez.
And now Power stepping up to the plate. Katie Stewart.
Katie Stewart had a great pinch hit at bat in last night's game in the bottom of the 7th. Worked hard, ended up being retired for the last out of the game, but she was impressive.
Terry Jennings had to make a great play to get that out.
And just foul. She has put on a show the last 2 nights in batting practice, impressing the home crowd here with her power.
2 broken windows.
Yeah, that building out there does not like Katie. I don't believe anyone's moved in yet, but they're going to have to figure out a way to protect the glass from the Longhorns. Two and one. Top 10 recruit, 5 home runs, 24 RBI this season. May gets the swing and miss.
Beautiful pitch. And she pitches that off-speed pitch up in the zone, so it makes it seem like it's on a platter. Only about 5 or 6 miles an hour slower, but it's enough to get that miss.
Slow roller, and Brito will let that one go foul.
Comes back to it again, but blending that one a little more down than out. It's one of the keys for May, and we were starting to mention earlier that Patty Gasso's really challenged her pitching staff to limit the free passes and also be a little more exact with that location. If you miss in the direction of the pitch, so that miss is moving out of the zone.
And the pitching coach, Jen Rocha.
That might have been the pitch there. Katie Stewart just missed it, right on time with it. It was the location she was looking. Watch and see if there's another off-speed pitch, because that one, I mean, she was right on time.
Looking for her first run batted in her last 8 games. Hansen able to block, and Martinez will hold at second.
Kinsey Hansen, I mean, that was a tough pitch. And what I love about this, guys, she doesn't try to catch it. This is for every catcher to learn. Round it, keep it in front of you, and you're talking about speed on second base. Vivi Martinez, she knows no chance.
3-2, got her. 2 down. And a strikeout, and Taurasi will also be holding it down right here on ESPN. Who you got, Clark or Carolina in that one? I'm going to go Carolina, I think.
I got
going to be tough to beat. But if anybody can do it. What a great story. And a great season for women's basketball.
Last night was so much fun after our game.
Here's Caden Henry. Henry goes opposite with it, and Boone is back to make the grab. Riley Boone tracking it down and saving a run. Had the 3-run home run, drove in 4. She's reached base after the single in the first inning now in 16 of her last 19 games. And in the last 3 games, 4 home runs and 8 RBI for Coleman, who is the reigning National Player of the Week. Got her to pop up there. Martinez. 1 down.
come back and attack her on the inner half and pops this up. And how much of a perfectionist? We just gave all these great numbers and upset with herself because she's out.
That's probably why they are so driven.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Jada Coleman went on this hot tear. Before that, Patty had moved her down in the lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't even batting leadoff because she was batting just under 400, which was like, oh, man, she needs to work on some stuff. So you can see where it comes from.
Put her in that 9-hole for one game. So talk about poking the bear.
Yeah. This is Ella Parker in the 2 spot. Ella lined out her first time up. Yeah, the duo of Coleman and Jennings, who often are in the 1 or 2 spots or the top 3 in the lineup. They're not tonight, but it's rare that a duo is together for 4 years and doing the things that they're doing, putting up the kind of numbers and the wins that they have collected together.
And then the influence that they have on these freshmen. I mean, Jada and Tiari were those freshmen that came in first, day 1, and were impactful. And that is Ella Parker in the batter's box right now.
Here's the 2-2 from Gutierrez. Called strike 3. 2 down.
First strikeout of the game for Gutierrez, and this is just a hard pitch at the knees on the inner half. You can tell that Parker looking for something away. Thinking maybe that's a little low.
It's the hardest team in the country to strike out. They only struck out twice last night in game 1.
What's that drop ball? Lower half of the zone. She throws that hard. 67 miles an hour.
Brito reached on a fielder's choice and then scored in the first for OU. Last night was Oklahoma's 40th straight Big 12 win. Their last loss was here 2 years ago to Texas. They have won 11 straight Big 12 championships. Brito grounds out. Back-to-back, 1, 2, 3 innings for Gutierrez.
Looking at your lineup, just trying to get some more runs on the board against Gutierrez. How do they do it?
Aggressive early, selecting good pitches. I think when she's really good, when she gets you down in the count. So we've got to be a little more aggressive looking early.
And Coach, year in and year out, you have the best, if not one of the best defenses in the country. How do you do that consistently year after year?
We just work. We work, grind, put them in pressure situations at practice, get them to get a feel of what big games like this feel like at practice the best that we can.
Thank you, Patty.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Patty.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Gasso's team, a winner last night, 5-2. They've got the 1-0 lead tonight. That defense is the #1 ranked fielding percentage statistically in America.
Just 13 errors on the year.
Ashton Maloney to lead things off against Nicole May. Nicole May's a great story. Probably could have left. A lot of others might have in the transfer portal. She has not been the ace, and even this year, it's been, Sally Allstaff, so to speak. But she loves wearing that uniform. She's had tremendous success. In fact, now in her senior season, she has yet to lose to a Big 12 opponent. She's only lost 3 times her entire career.
Impressive.
Pitching behind Jordy Ball the last couple of seasons. It's been a while. Look at that. 670 days since a loss to UCLA at the World Series. Not last year, 2 years ago.
She's just consistent. Coach Gasso just talked about her ability to attack different parts of the zone, how Jen Roach has really helped her out with mixing speeds.
Chop to Brito.
And now, when you're pitched to contact and you have the #1 defense in the country, why else would you want to strike anyone out?
Let them do the work.
Absolutely.
She has so much confidence. The women behind her. You see it there. I mean, Maloney gets down the line. Brito got rid of that so quick.
Oklahoma has now, in 10 innings in this series, allowed just one leadoff to get on base in an inning. Back to the top of the order here to Bella Dayton. Grounded to second, her first time up. Texas, despite some struggles the last couple of weeks, they still are the #2 RPI team in the country with 9 wins over top 25 opponents. At an ERA that's top 5 in the country. Dwight knows that for the confidence and the psyche of his team, got to try and get one here this weekend if you want to try and get him in the postseason.
Prove they can run with them.
Chin music for Bella, gets out of the way. That horn you hear, by the way, is outside of the stadium, so outside the jurisdiction of the umpires to take the noisemakers away. Dayton, snagged by Sanders, 2 down. We're told that folks at home last night and tonight, you can hear that loud whistle. That is also man-made or woman-made, we're told, not artificial.
Yeah, no artificial noisemakers allowed, but I guess if it's coming from your own
In the
vocal
stadium.
cords. Yeah, in the stadium.
He's got the bullhorn, bullhorn and a beverage. Tasty beverage.
Oh, it's rowdy out in the outfield. That's where we come in. There's barbecue going and fans trickling over from the baseball game that just ended.
Brito. 1-2-3 inning. And probably for the best. Back to Austin after this. He's 4 seasons at 88. Of course, Ala went on to add to the RBI total and the home run total. Jennings will try and chase those down. Got work to do in both departments. But what a job that she has done. She's on deck behind Cassidy Pickering.
Not just the talent that comes in the recruiting classes and the transfers, but also, you know, the coaching staff and JT Gasso, the knowledge. I love talking chop, talking hitting with him. I mean, just breaking it down, how many hitters that he's made even better. And not even so much the mechanical. I mean, that's what's so cool about, you know, travel ball and high school. And a lot of these players already know how to hit, but they don't understand the mentality that goes with it, especially when you're facing really good pitching. I'd say one of the #1 things he teaches is understanding the strike zone and honestly the pitches that you can drive.
It's the tactical, right? Technical, right? Your swing, or tactical, the mentality aspect, and then application of it into games. That's the thing we were talking with them about earlier today, is that this Oklahoma team is so good at just application of what they teach actually in game time.
Executing it.
Yeah.
He gets a grin, though, because he's like, I kind of like it when they get humbled at first because they don't always really listen to me. And all of a sudden they get in there and it's like, okay, all right, tell me what you're saying again.
Another 2-2 pitch. Pickering golfs that one out to left, back to the wall at the base of the fence and hauled in by Henry.
Cassidy Pickering, 2 balls hit really hard. I thought this was going to leave the yard. Caden Henry calling off, by the way, her left fielder, Bella Dayton. I thought that they were going to collide. It was a great job not only calling it in a loud crowd, but making the grab up against the wall.
So that'll bring up Jennings. Little bloop single out to right center, her first time up, that drove in a run. So Tiare came into the ball game 7th all-time in runs batted in, and now has moved into a tie with Stacey Chambers. So one more to pass her as she approaches the top 5 all-time. I mean, we're talking about one of the best sluggers that we've seen in the history of the game. She's close to 90 home runs, of course. That would tie the great Stacey Newsman on the all-time list. There you go. All those records are held by Alo.
Incredible, by the way.
122 home runs and 323 ribs.
It's batting average and the slug, too.
Opposite way, looks like they hit earlier, but this time Maloney's able to get there. 2 down.
Addie's showing it off. I love it. First Caden Henry in center field, off the wall with her body, making a grab. And Ashton Maloney, we saw a hit drop in the same spot. This time she reads it correctly. Probably didn't have to dive, but I like it. I like that little extra at the end. Beautiful catch, 2 great plays by their outfield.
Terrific job by the D for Texas, holding up well tonight. Here's Alina Torres.
Defense turned 2 double plays yesterday for Texas.
It was the balls in the air that were actually giving them the trouble.
Yeah. And it was interesting, too, talking with Patty Gasso about how good her defense is. One of the things she mentioned is that defensive momentum, when you make great plays on defense, you can carry that into your offense. It's one of the things that Texas has yet to really do in this series, but possibility here, a couple of nice plays. Yeah.
Remember the all Big 12 freshman team a year ago with a 13-6 record. Now 6-0 this year for Sitlali. A pitching staff that can come at you with 5 different pitchers who really throw 5 different pitches. There's Morgan, who took the loss last night. That'll stay fair inside the bag. And Mia Scott shows off her arm. A 1-2-3 inning. Let's see if that defense leads to some
Defense behind your pitcher, Sitlali Gutierrez. What have you liked from her and the D behind her?
Exactly, just that. A good defense, you know, making the outs when we need to make them. She's worked behind just a little bit, but she's using her off-speed curve a little bit. Just really helping neutralize some of their power.
And, Coach, what are the adjustments that you need to make going against Nicole May?
Well, obviously getting good pitches to hit. We were a little unlucky that one inning. We hit a ball hard and made a nice play, but we got to continue to do that. Just get good pitches to hit.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, thank you, Hookup.
Mike White now in his 6th season, able to get Texas back to the Women's College World Series a few years ago. 6 times now for Texas. Of course, the first, the 5 for the legendary Connie Clark. Congratulations to Connie, by the way, headed to the Hall of Fame.
Well deserved.
Many great years here at Texas with some really good pitchers. Blair Luna, Kat Osterman, Krista Williams.
Oh, there's Kat. Baby JC. Oh, got to meet her. Brecken. With the whole family. And those are season tickets.
That's right.
She is a dedicated fan. I love it. An alum, supports this group.
Base knock right back up the middle, Mia Scott. Just the 2nd time in the series, the leadoff on board. Let's see if they can get something going.
What did Mike White just tell us? Get good pitches to hit. And, you know, for this one, it's just kind of getting the ball a little bit more up in the zone. We saw them chasing balls up out of the zone and below. Good pitch to hit, rocketed right up the middle.
Yeah, that's a drop ball that May just left elevated. A stake that gets hit hard.
Reese Atwood had a runner on base in the 1st. Grounded out to 3rd. Had a base runner in scoring position in the second, and then May was able to register back-to-back outs to end the threat. Texas in the series just 1 for 8 with a runner aboard. Swing and a miss to Atwood.
Either that ball's got a ton of spin, Smitty, because that looks like it is middle, a pitch to hit. I'm surprised that Atwood missed it.
Movement coming from that right side toward her glove, so it's moving away. It's curving to the outer half, but yeah, she reached for that like it was a foot off the plate.
Nicole May wastes one there, 1 and 2. Mike White talked to us about Reese this week. Wants her to swing free, make some good decisions, not try and do too much. So critical to their success. And the swing and the miss there. Big strikeout for Nicole May. That's her third, 1 down.
Third strikeout of the night, and it's on the changeup. And a good count to be able to throw this. She buries it down into the dirt and just gets Atwood to chase that from low to lower. And that's typically a pitch early in the season that Atwood was seeing and hitting. Now she's chasing it down and missing it.
Washington, a ground out her first time up. Scott over at first base has 4 stolen bases on the season. Kinsey Hansen, though, is the best catcher in the country, the Johnny Bench Award winner last year. Very hard to run on the Sooners. Only 5 stolen bases against her all year. She's caught 3 trying to steal.
And sometimes in a situation like this, I think, a hard take off of first base just to look like you're stealing could move Tiare Jennings a little bit more up the middle, open up that 5-6 hole. At some point, you have to try to start doing something to try to shift that defense. You can see Jennings up the middle, and because of that, Brito has to be off the line. And this is where, as a hitter, you have to know, okay, if my defense is shifted like that, where am I going to be pitched?
Middle away.
Middle away. And so if you're being pitched middle away, you have to let that ball travel so then you can hit it the opposite way.
It's another swing and a miss. Actually got a little piece of that one. Fouls it off, 1 and 2. Steve Singleton back there with some instruction for Alyssa. Struck her out. 2 down. Hey, Martinez, first pitch swinging opposite way. That'll be extras. Scott racing around third and heading for home. And Texas ties it up.
Viviana Martinez, back-to-back doubles, and they are rockets. We've seen them both to the left side. She is so aggressive, first pitch hunting, low and away, does a great job with that barrel to drive this where no one's gonna catch it. How about Mia Scott, get on your horse, coming around easily to score.
And now Katie Stewart, a chance for the lead for the Longhorns, rips that one into the gap, and Texas goes on top as Vivi comes in to make it 2-1.
How about Texas being aggressive back-to-back, first pitch swinging? Gotta love the way that the freshman Stort's gonna go down and get this on time, barrels that up and just drives it almost in the exact same spot as Vivi Martinez. Texas, first time with the lead in the series.
Underclassmen coming up big. Martinez, the sophomore.
She's been in the leadoff spot for them the last couple weeks. Just got moved down this game. She's been huge for them up the top of the lineup.
She hit a hard shot the opposite way her first time up. Riley Boone out left made a great play on it. 2-1 Texas. They've lost 8 straight to their rivals. They've lost 31 of the last 32 over a 10-year stretch. Ground ball to Jennings and a tag to Stewart right in front of her.
All right.
And they're on top right now, 2-1. Sooners just 1 loss all season. That's to Louisiana. That snapped a 71-game winning streak after they went through all of last year with just 1 defeat.
That was by Baylor last year.
I mean, this group of seniors has lost 9 times their entire career. 9. You can still count them on one hand. 2 hands.
Why Patty was excited to get here, though. She wanted to play in Austin, in this environment. I mean, hear this crowd. And they're rowdy, and they're getting rowdier as this game progresses, horns and all. But she wants this team to be tested.
This would be so big for Texas. They have not beaten Oklahoma in a series since 2009. Sanders, backhanded, Martinez, got it. 1 down. The number 8 hitter, Kinsey Hansen. These were all ground outs the first time up here against Gutierrez for the bottom of the order.
Gutierrez has been rolling a lot of those ground balls. We talked about it early in this broadcast that, you know, she is going to really work that defense behind her. And if they can be steady Eddie, it's going to be the name of her game. It'll help her pitch count.
It's honestly what Mac Morgan didn't get a lot of yesterday. Some drop fly balls, and then as a pitcher, you start getting nervous about throwing pitches they can hit.
Yeah, we got the totals, by the way, Smitty. 8 ground outs, 4 fly outs for Sitlali tonight.
1 strikeout, but she's retired 11 in a row.
And that will drop over the glove of Martinez and out into left. And Oklahoma has the tying run aboard. Well, this is a rarity for the Sooners to fall behind an opponent. First time, in fact, that they are trailing in a game in almost a month. You got to go back to Iowa State on March 9th. The last time they fell behind in a game. Here's Riley Boone stepping in. Oh, by the way, that only lasted a half an inning.
Way to get our hopes up, right?
Yeah,
For
and then
those,
they
for those Texas.
yeah, they
fans
came
out
back to
there.
run rule them, so we'll put that away.
Well, those are the things that Patty Gasso, as we talked about, that's what she wants. She wants the pressure. She wants this team to
Come from behind because they're not used to it.
Well, on the other side, too, for Mike White. You know, when they went back to the World Series and reached the finals 2 years ago, they were an underdog. They were unseeded. And now this is a team with a target on its back. Against everybody except Oklahoma, really. So how do his women perform with an advantage, with an opportunity to win a big game? There's a certain pressure that goes along with that, too, right?
Absolutely. That's handling the pressure, the expectation.
A lot more fun to be the underdog. Sneaking in there and doing upsets left and right.
Into the Boone. Got her. Rare strikeout for Riley. And Gutierrez sends her back to the dugout for just the 4th time this year.
And she doesn't strike out, but that is the difference when you are trying to make something happen. When you are never behind and you're trying to swing at pitches that Riley Boone never swings at. She's got one of the best eyes. This almost bounces twice. guaranteed if they have a lead, she doesn't swing at that. That is the difference with an Oklahoma team that's just not used to this.
Just the 4th strikeout of the year for Boone.
Well, you know they're going to be keeping an eye on Kinsey Hansen at first base. She was called out yesterday, leaving the bag too soon, and it took a run off the board. And you don't want to make that mistake with Coleman, and now the top of the order coming around. Coleman lashes that one center, drifting back to make the catch is Caden Henry. From Martinez and Stewart to grab the lead in the 4th. And now Texas right back to work after a quick inning. 9 and then the top. Ashton Maloney grounded out her first time out. That last rally in the last inning started by getting the leadoff hitter aboard. On a single by Mia Scott.
Well, and after a couple non-productive out, a couple strikeouts, it looked like he might have a hard time, but look at that. The 3 extra base hits tonight resulted in 2 runs.
All 3 of those hits, 2 came on the first pitch of the at-bat. Much aggressive, more aggressive approach from Texas.
One-two pitch. Maloney finds an opening on the left side. And Texas will try and start it up again.
Very few have done what Patty Gasso is doing.
Oh, people like to watch greatness, whether you're rooting for it or rooting against it. People like to watch attempts at breaking records and making history, whether you want to root against it or for it. And the excellence of these 2 programs, top notch.
People love upsets too.
Yes, they do.
Well, it's the intrigue, right? And that's why people watch.
We got one brewing right now. Oklahoma only has 6 outs left to work with. They're down a run.
Well, that's a big hit by Maloney on a 1-2 pitch. He shoots that through the 5-6 hole, rolls over the lineup. This is where I think it's important for Texas. They need to put more runs up on the board. And at this point, if they're giving up outs, they got to get something. Got to have productive outs when they're outs. Otherwise, they got to put that ball in the green in the gap.
Well, Dayton at least trying to move her around the base. 2-1. Top 2 in the order, Dayton and Mitchell have yet to reach tonight. May shaking off a couple of pitches, now ready to go. That's the swing and miss.
It's a good pitch on 3-1.
Everything had been down too.
Remember, she's only lost 3 times in 4 years. She has never lost a Big 12 game. Called strike 3. 1 down, and Dayton unable to advance the runner.
Well, the setup pitch is a 3-1 rise ball that Dayton swings through, and then May comes to that outside pitch again and just gets Dayton watching it move across the plate. That is a big-time pitch. 3-2. If you're Dayton, you got to go get that in this situation.
5th of the game for May, and now it's Jolie Mitchell's turn. First pitch swinging, fouls it off. Started at Notre Dame, played for the Irish for 3 years. She's got a couple of years eligibility. Former high school player of the year out of Rosebud, Arkansas. 0-2.
She's been out in front of everything. All of Nicole May's pitches. She's even given her a couple of changeups. She'll sit kind of up in the batter's box.
Yeah, way up.
She hits off her front side. You see all those swings. She's out in front.
You know, the advantage of being up in the box is you're catching it before there's any true movement, but you have to read the change in the velocity, right? That's the effective velocity. You hear a lot of these coaches talk about those EV tunnels.
Maloney over at first base after a leadoff single. And another strikeout for May. Got her with the change for number 6 on the night. 2 down.
How about Nicole May? I mean, pressure is on, and you could feel it from Oklahoma's hitters in the last half inning, but now Nicole May, after giving up the leadoff hit, you kind of felt Texas, here they come. She strikes out the next 2 batters.
Inning of relief so far on the season. Big moment here for her.
We're starting to see more of that in the game, though. Specialization. I mean, she's coming in for the lefty, Amia Scott, who had absolutely hit hard. Nicole May in her last at-bat had great at-bats.
Right back up the middle, snag by Jennings at short. What a play to keep it in the infield.
When the season started, because of how good Texas looked, Oklahoma, of course. But then to see it play out right now, 2-1, this is what we wanted.
Well, and I think it's an opportunity for Oklahoma to be in a pressure situation that they're not always used to being, and that's playing from behind. But how about Texas? Opportunity for them to try to figure out how to close this game with the lead.
Yeah, they have only beaten Oklahoma once in the last 10 years. They're trying to do it again here and end the Sooners' 40-game Big 12 conference winning streak. But, of course, the Sooners not likely to go down without a fight. And after the hit by pitch, Brito with the fly ball for an out to left field. Tying run is aboard with 1 out. Pickering coming up, and then Tiare Jennings, the 3-time All-American, is on deck. Pickering a double and a fly out, and there's a wild pitch from Gutierrez, and that tying run is now in scoring position.
Well, Gutierrez is going to let this pitch fly. It's probably slipping out of her hand, a little bit of a grip thing, but she needs to get out of the way because Reese Atwood, it came back to her so hard, she wanted to throw down to second, but it looked like Gutierrez was...
Working on the freshman Pickering.
Pickering, both her at-bats just absolutely crushed the ball. Double off the wall. Her first at-bat lined out center field.
Low, 2-1.
Pickering does such a good job of dropping that barrel, getting to those pitches, extending.
Oh boy, you don't want to lose her because Jennings coming up. You may have to walk her to load the bases to pitch to Torres. Tiare's already driven in a run in a similar situation tonight. Three-one pitch. Full count. Runner was on the move at second.
It's a good pitch. 3-1 changeup. I'd come back with it and bury it in the ground. See if you can get her to chase.
Instead, gets her to pop it up. Fighting with the bag at third as Mia Scott holds on. 2 down.
Back-to-back off-speed pitches. Woo.
And here comes Tiare, and what do you do with her? homered in 6 of her last 10 games.
I would not give her a pitch to hit. Anything around the zone, if you get calls, fine. First base is open.
100%.
Do not pitch.
And Torres is grounded out twice to third base.
Below the knees, 1-0. '88 career home runs, top 10 all time for Jennings. Gutierrez finds the zone, 1-1.
Going after. Jennings moving off a little bit. That pitch on the inner half. Jennings makes an adjustment, moves off the plate.
Hot shot to third, but right at Mia Scott for the third out of the inning. And then in the 7th inning for the Sooners, it will be the bottom of their order. Due up. We'll see if Gutierrez comes out to try and finish it. Here's Reese Atwood. First look at deal for all these hitters in the series. The corner outfielders just did a switcheroo for Oklahoma. Hannah Core is actually out in left now. Riley Boone moves over to right. And Atwood is aboard. Hitter here is Vic Hunter, who's 7 of 16 as a pinch hitter on the season. Texas looking for some insurance.
Monticelli is all about the velo. She's heat. Talking to Patty Gasso earlier before the game. She said if we bring her in dark at night under the light, she throws with a lot of velocity. Some more pitch speed than spin speed.
Also, Patty Gasso has gone to Avery Hodge at second base defensively. Good strategizing going on from both head coaches here in the bottom of the 6th. Not just any game, but a Red River rivalry that has been very one-sided of late in favor of the Oklahoma Sooners. They've won 31 of the last 32. That's why the score right now so significant for Texas. Ball 4. Bumps a runner into scoring position. And both free passes this inning.
Wow, this pressure situation, a lot of these pitchers don't have a ton of experience, and this is where you get your feet wet in these situations.
Heck of a bat, too, off the bench. Vic Hunter facing that velocity. You saw her swung and miss early, and then she had the patience to lay off the same pitch 3 times in a row.
And Martinez doubled in the 2nd, doubled and drove in a run in the 4th. Off of the starter, Nicole May, who was just standing next to Patty Gasso. Has never lost a Big 12 game in her career. Just 3 career losses total for Nicole. That's how good she's been over the course of her career.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because Monticelli, she does have 14.1 innings in relief, but she has inherited no runners. So not situations where she's pitching in duress.
Interesting, too, the tape has changed on the chest protector of Kinsey Hansen from the blue vertical to the red horizontal.
Well, and it went blue horizontal when Deal came in.
Each pitcher gets their own tape.
Yes, so.
Everything up in the zone. Coming in from Peyton. That's the conversation Texas is, I'm sure, passing on hitter to hitter. See something down.
2-0 to Vivi.
Well, if I'm reading tape, I'm reading red means fire, throw the ball hard, pitcher, right? That's how I'm reading the tape. And from that tape lower, hit the lower half of the zone.
I was going to say, is it lower part of the zone, or when it was vertical, is it right
Correct.
or left side of the tape?
Yep, I'd read it that way.
Martinez drops a beauty of a bunt. Texas loads him up with nobody out.
And I love that call because Martinez had 2 doubles in this game. She has hit the ball very hard, but a situation when you've got to move those runners and get them at second and third.
The location of the drag, too. I mean, bringing it down the first baseline because Sydney Sanders was playing even with the bag. Peyton Monticelli, the pitcher, had no chance in getting to this. Not just getting it down, but the location down the first baseline. Impossible if first base is playing back.
Gonna need to use that #1 defense in the country. She's given up 2 doubles and 3 home runs, so has been susceptible to giving up some power.
How about this atmosphere, though, man? It is a party on a Saturday night. Country Music Awards are in town, but this is the show to be at in Austin, Texas.
Oklahoma has 1 loss this year. They only had 1 loss last year. So a 2-run loss this year, a 1-run loss last year. That's it. You're going back at least several years to a game where they may possibly lose by multiple runs. That's how good they've been for so long and so dominant.
And why this feels like a national championship game.
They lost to UCLA by 4 runs in the World Series 2 years ago. Hansen able to get to it.
I just love that the fans, they wanted Wallace to come in and score. The ball was like a foot away from Hansen.
A hit batter, a walk, and a bunt single to load him up. So she was up in a big spot in the 7th inning and grounded out for the final out of the game last night. But we revisit her batting practice prowess and the poor windows in the building across the street beyond the left field fence. She's taken out a couple of them. Goes the opposite way, way back off the top of the wall. 1 run is in, and here comes another. Sliding in safely is Hunter. Stewart just misses a grand slam, but she drives in a pair. Count is 1-1. And Stewart skies it. 2 down.
Boy, this is important for Texas to try to get back together in that dugout and rally and do something here. Opportunity to still put some runs up on the board.
We talked about the defensive miscues that have been costly for Texas in their losses. And the Longhorns now hopeful that it's not an offensive miscue. They still have the 1-run advantage. Oklahoma down to their last 3 outs and still a chance to pad the lead here for Caden Henry. 0 for 2 with a well-struck ball the opposite way out to left in the first inning that was caught by Riley Boone. Plenty of pop in the bats of Torres, Sanders, and Hansen. They would be the 3 due up in the top of the 7th for the Sooners. Carly Keeney, the 4th different Oklahoma pitcher tonight, falls behind here 3-0. Draws the walk to load him up, and it's Ashton Maloney who singled in her last at-bat to extend her hitting streak to 10 games in a row. And is Mike White going to pull her here for somebody else?
Remember, Ashton Maloney, mostly short game.
Yep.
So even though she's got the hits, he's looking for pop. He wants power. He wants something in the gap. So many teams have all that depth.
So he's going to go to Katie Simmons. One of his veterans, 0 for 1 Friday night for Katie. Just 1 hit in the inning, but they've loaded the bases for the 2nd time. Oh, 2. Slow roller to second. Hodge charges over to first to end the inning. Texas leaves them loaded. With the 6, 7, 8 batters coming up, the starter Citlali Gutierrez stays for the 7th inning. After 3 hits off of Citlali in the 1st inning, guys, for the Sooners, just 1 hit since. Gutierrez has shut him down. Torres lays off, 2-0. Texas had 2 runs taken off the board in the bottom of the 6th due to a base running error, with a runner leaving the bag early. Otherwise, it would have been 4-1. That one's in for a strike. Two and 2. That 1st inning, 3 for 6. They scored their only run. 1 and 17 since then. Right back up the middle, and coming on to make the grab is Kaden Henry, the freshman, with a big snag.
She just made the catch of her life. I mean, this is the hardest ball to read, the one right at you, line drive. She not only reads it perfect, that is such a high degree of difficulty. It's a freshman right there, folks. I love it.
Oh, and I love the way Gutierrez immediately turns around and gives some love back to the freshman center fielder.
I mean, she read that so good, and then the trust. She dives and misses that. It's not a whole lot of backup.
And the freshman trying to get everybody to chill out. 2 outs away from a huge win. This is Sydney Sanders. falling behind for the second straight batter, 2-0. Sanders drew 2 walks in game 1 last night. Ground ball, Scott stays down on it, 2 down. Is that the death knell for the 40-game conference win streak? Texas still has to get through Kinsey Hansen. Texas 1 strike away. One and two. Hansen back up the middle, and the Sooners have the tying run aboard, and the go-ahead will come to the plate.
She backed off the plate, Beth, right before that pitch. The pitches prior. In fact, the second pitch she swung and almost hit her. That's how far in they were coming. She literally took a step back off the plate to get to that inside pitch.
And she's one of the most clutch Sooners out there. We've seen some big home runs from Kinsey Hansen over her career. Unfazed in any situation.
Maya Bland will come on to run. Tying run for Oklahoma, a few bags away. 2 down, and the number 9 hitter, Riley Boone.
This is the out. You do not want to roll it over and let Coleman have another at-bat.
She may be the hottest hitter in the country right now. Can the Sooners get to her? In for a strike from Sitlali. Boone rips one out to center field. Henry going back, it's over her head. Bland wheeling around third. Play at the plate, the throw, and the tag, and they got her at home. As Texas celebrates.
Listen up, I'm about to paint with words, a lyrical poet flying with the birds. Pen in hand, mind full of dreams, writing rhymes that make souls gleam. From the ink on the page to the beat in my heart, I'm a wordsmith playing my part, spinning tales like a web of silk, crafting verses smoother than milk. I'm a poet, rhythm in my veins, ink in my pen, igniting flames from the depths of my soul to the stars above. I'm a poet, spreading peace and love. In the silence of night, my words take flight, painting pictures in black and white. Metaphors dance, similes sway. In the world of poetry, I'll find my way from sonnets to haikus. I explore the range, in the realm of language. Nothing stays the same, every stanza a journey, every line a tale. In the universe of verse, I never fail. I'm a poet, rhythm in my veins, ink in my pen, igniting flames from the depths of my soul to the stars above. I'm a poet, spreading peace and love. So next time you hear my words, listen close, for in each verse there's a treasure to enclose. I'm a poet, storyteller, keeper of the flame. In the world of rhyme, I'll forever reign.